What's up, guys? Welcome to the video. Long time no see. Today I actually want to show you guys a new car I bought. For those that follow me on Instagram, probably already know, but for those that don't, little surprise for you guys. And I will say the garage is a little bit emptier than it used to be, but I'll get to that here in a little bit. But behind me, excuse my mess, I'm actually trying to clean up the workbench area. I actually kind of lightly reassembled the 4G63 from the Evo. I'm actually selling bits and pieces here and there, and I'm just trying to get rid of the actual block and head. So if anybody's interested in an Evo 3 4G63 and you're in the Georgia area, hit me up, come pick it up. But without further ado, I was very busy the last few months. I was in Florida for vacation for about 3 weeks, and then I had to go to Spokane, Washington for a few weeks, and then to Wichita Falls in Texas for a little over a month. But I'm back in Georgia, and I'm back on the grind. So a lot of good content coming for you guys, and a big trip, possibly Japan, here in the near future. So stay tuned for that. But I want to show you guys something I picked up while I was on vacation in Florida, and it is a boom 2003 Toyota MR2 Spider. And a lot of you guys right now are probably already clicking the unfollow, unsubscribe, dislike button. I got it. I understand you guys have been following me because I've had Evos for the past few years, along with the GTR, right-hand drive, JDM cars, all that good stuff. But hear me out before you do. I wasn't driving the Evo. I probably drove it once a week, and every time I drove it, I always had little close calls here and there of people cutting me off. And actually, the last time I drove it to work, somebody in my own parking lot at work hit the license plate on the front, bent it, it popped a few of the tabs on the bumper, and that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And every time I worked on the car, it was a major PITA. I did the coilovers, I did the brakes, and living in America, it's just so hard to work on the car. Anytime something breaks, I gotta get parts from either Japan or, thankfully, Evolutions Plus, my buddy Alex, he hooked it up a lot of the times for getting me parts, but it was still just a major pain in the butt. Old, rusted bolts, 25-year-old car, and there was not a lot of aftermarket support out there for the cars, and I kind of got the car to a point where I felt like it's exactly how I wanted it. I was taking it to meets, but I wasn't really driving it hard and thoroughly enjoying the car. And I wanted something for me to enjoy on a more day-to-day basis, take to work, not worry about something breaking, not worry too much about something happening in the car, and having a solid aftermarket community out there for it. So I went ahead and picked up this 8M6. It's Spectra Micro Blue or Blue Micro Spectra, 2003 Toyota MR2 Spider. Differences on the 03 to 05, the front bumper has the OEM fog lights, they call it the facelift if you will, and chrome headlights, but I went ahead and already blacked them out. I threw the headlights in the oven, separated the housing, painted the inside black. They are a little foggy right now. They were like that when I got the car, but I do have a turtle wax headlight restoration kit. I'm gonna go ahead and try to clear those up probably today. And then the wheels, OEM wheels, they're 15s in the front, 16s in the rear, compared to 15s all around on the 2000 to 2002 models. Different tail lights, and supposedly the engine's a little bit better as far as like the oil consumption. The pre-facelift MR2s had a lot of problems with the precats failing and the little catalytic material getting into the engine and causing it to fail pretty early for the engines too. So a lot of guys that end up buying used MR2s, specifically the 2000 to 2002 models, it's highly recommended you guys either gut the pre-cap material, take them off, get it all out, clean them up, or just throw an aftermarket header on there so you don't have engine failure down the road, because it does happen all the time. I see it on the forums all the time. And I did own one of these back in 2008 when I was in college to 2010, and this is the only car I've ever bought again. I've owned, I don't know, 20, 30 cars, I lost count, but the MR2 Spider is the only car that I've sold that I've truly missed. And the reason I sold it back in the day, I moved downtown Miami, and I only had one parking spot, and I was dating my wife at the time, and we were moving in together, and she had a car. It just made more sense for me to get rid of my MR2 and use her car. And I've missed it ever since. Honestly, it was one of the cars that I've been itching to get back into for the longest time. And a lot of people like look at it and be like, oh, it looks like a chick car. You know, it's got these big old goofy front headlights. It looks like a frog. So many jokes about it. It weighs 2,200 pounds, and it is a go-kart with a body kit. Rear-wheel drive, mid-engine, 1.8 liter, 138 horsepower to the crank. Not a lot of power, but it is a VVTi engine, and it does feel good in the high RPMs. Definitely peppy. And, oh, I forgot. Yeah, I went ahead and threw a short ram intake, Monkey Wrench Racing, MWR. It's one of the companies that does a lot of support for Lotus and Toyotas. Got their intake on sale, threw that in there. It sounds phenomenal. And I just love driving this thing. Honestly, I've already put more miles on this car than I did on the Evo, believe it or not. I bought this in July and I drove it from Georgia all the way to Texas, 1,000 miles each way. Minus the cruise control, or the lack of cruise control, I should say. It was a phenomenal car to drive. Top down, weather was perfect. I actually removed the storage as a pain in the butt. I removed the passenger seat, got my suitcase in there with a few other things. But up here, we've got the spare tire for those that aren't familiar with the MR2 Spyders. Pop this, you got the frunk and the spare tire, jack and whatnot, power steering, pump, radiator, all that good stuff is up there. And then behind the seats, you've got little compartments right here. And you could probably fit maybe a duffel bag in there, maybe two if you're lucky. And then we've got the foldable windscreen right here when the top's down. But overall, car is a blast to drive. Now, it's not perfect by any means, but it was completely stock, and these things are so hard to find. I was actually shopping around on Auto Trader and Car Gurus and a few different websites, and I just so happened to be in Florida down in Miami, and I found this one in Clearwater, which is close to Tampa, and it was on my way back up to Georgia, so I bought it sight unseen, picked it up and drove it from Clearwater all the way back here near Atlanta, Georgia. The clear coat though on the bumper, it's a little rough over here. I mean, the wheels, coating on the wheels is flaking off, but nothing that I won't take care of, don't worry. OEM exhaust, I mean, this car was bone stock, and they're just so hard to find. Just like anything right now, and the value on these cars is slowly creeping up there. If I'm being honest, I did want an S2000. I rented one when I was in Tokyo. You guys might have seen that video. Phenomenal car. I've always wanted an S2000, but when I sold the Evo, I was looking, shopping around, and I realized what I got for my Evo, I could get a clapped out S2000, something with like 150, 200,000 miles, plasti dip, cut springs, not that bad. But all the clean examples, the stock ones, because I like buying stock cars and making them my own. All the stock ones with decent mileage, mid 20s, high 20s, low 30s, even more, depending on the color of the year and all that good stuff. So I was like, maybe not an S2000. What else is out there that would be fun that I can mod? And I wanted a rear wheel drive car. I've had all wheel drive for a really long time. Front wheel drive is not an option for me. And then I was like, boom, MR2 Spider. I've owned one. I'm already really familiar. I was on the forums back in the day in 2008. I did work on the one I had. Very comfortable with this car, and it is a absolute blast to drive. For those that own them, you know what I'm talking about. All the MR2 Spider owners out there, it's kind of like a cult following. Like I always say, don't knock it unless you've tried it, and that goes with a lot of things in life, but specifically cars. So if you're gonna just look at it and be like, well, it kind of looks like a ditzy little roadster, the second gen's way better, yada yada yada, it came in a turbo model, all that good stuff. Yeah, I agree with you, but it's just such a fun, lightweight, peppy car to drive. Top down, mid-engine, even with the intake on there, top down, hitting 6,000-7,000 RPMs, just hearing the suction noises right behind your head. It's such a blast, and it drives on stock suspension, stock tires, stock everything. It drives so good. So I can't wait to actually put some money into this car, get some new rims, get some new wheels, some new tires, coilovers. I'm trying to find a TRD body kit or aero kit. I know there's a lot of replicas out there. Some bracing in the front, some underneath and the rear, some new seats, hard top, and then engine swap. That's probably the biggest thing I plan on doing with this car. And I'm kind of torn right now between the 2ZZ, which is the engine that came in the Lotus Elise. Yep, for those that didn't know, Lotus actually has a Toyota engine, but the Elise engines are a 2ZZ, which is the same engine essentially that goes in a Toyota Celica GTS, the early 2000s, Pontiac Vibe, and the Toyota Matrix. And it is good for, I think, 170, 180 horsepower, somewhere around there. So a good 40, 50, 60 horsepower boost over this engine. A car that weighs 2,200 pounds. That engine with a good tune and everything, if you can get 180, 190 to the wheels, it is a rocket. But then there's also K swaps out there. I'll go ahead and, while I'm talking, I'll go ahead and pop the trunk. So here is the 1ZZ in all of its glory. I did remove the spark plug cover. It's over there. Did replace a few bits here and there. This was broken off. I replaced the cap here. New battery bracket, and then the intake, as you can see, is over here. The OEM airbox came over here, and there's ducting down over here that pulls in the cool air. A lot of people say the OEM one is great. I did it mainly just for suction noises. I didn't do it for any power gains or anything like that. But you can see the K&N filter sits right over by the battery, and these are functional air scoops. So they do draw in cool air, so the air comes in here, intake's right there. It's a short ram, but I feel like it's also a cold air intake because you do have the battery blocking a lot of the heat over here. I don't know. Sounds great. And the throttle response, I mean, the butt dyno says, yeah, there's a little bit of something there. But the engine, it has a little over 100,000 miles on the clock. Not too bad for 2003, but I would like to pull this out and throw a Honda engine in there. And that's a lot of taboo. I know a lot of the guys in the MR2 community are like, no, you can't throw a Honda engine in a Toyota. But the guys have done it, swear by it. You can do a K20 A2, a K20, I believe Z1, a K24. There's a few different engines that have been tried and tested in these cars, and there's a few companies out there that do make the engine mounts and the wiring support and all that good stuff. It is a little pricey, but could you imagine having a VTEC 200 plus horsepower to the wheels, and there's so much more turbo aftermarket support for the Honda engines, and we just know how reliable they are, and everybody loves a VTEC. Whether you say you don't, if you say you don't like a VTEC, you've never driven in a VTEC. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Don't knock it till you've tried it. But few options on the back. So I plan on having this car long term. I do want to make it a track car. There is the Atlanta racetrack not too far from here, some SCCA events. So I want to get my hands back into racing, and it's been a really long time. I used to do autocross back in the day, and I didn't want to do it with the Evo. It doesn't make sense to take a 25-year-old, pretty rare JDM sports car out to racing events. I know guys do it, but I just felt like if something were to happen, transfer case, transmission, you know, engine, you name it, body parts, stuff's hard to get. So this is the new toy. And you guys are probably wondering, where's the 3000 GT? Oh, 3000 GT. It has been a pain in the butt. So I was gone for a few months, and I got back. It didn't fire up. Battery was dead. I was like, that's fine. I go replace the battery, go to start it up. It's running pretty rough at idle. I get it driving. It's sputtering from like 2,000 to 3,000 RPM. So I was like, all right, pretty easy fix. The car was driving perfectly beforehand. So I've been on this wild freaking goose hunt trying to figure out what's wrong with the 3000 GT. I've ordered a whole bunch of parts. I've already swapped out a lot. It's got a ground issue somewhere. I got a new alternator on the way. It actually died. I drove it to work on Friday, and battery was reading good voltage. A few hours later, go to the car, dead. So wife picked me up, and I got the battery charged. So probably today or tomorrow, I'm gonna go back out there, retrieve the 3000 GT. Got a new alternator on the way. I've got a IAC valve, a bunch of random OEM parts, coil packs. I did the plugs, you name it. There's just a laundry list of things. So I'm debating whether I want to sell that car because I'm not really driving it, and I know somebody out there would really appreciate it. But that's mainly why I have this big mess over here. I've been tinkering and dealing with the 3000 GT for the past 2 weeks now, and it has just been giving me such a headache. But on another note, the 4G63 Canon, the rebuild on this, so it's up for grabs. I got a bunch of parts in here. It's not a full engine. I already sold the valve covers, the intake manifold, the exhaust manifold, the cams, and a few other things. I got a few other things I'm going to be selling, but head and block here, if you're interested, definitely hit me up. But I'm not going to spend too much time on this video today, guys. I just wanted to touch base with you, show you the new car, and let you know I'm not gone. And please stay with the channel, guys. I know a lot of you are probably really upset that I don't have the Evo anymore. I got it. I understand. But JDM content is definitely on the horizon here in the very near future, and I'm going to be hitting the ground running, and I've got a lot of stuff I'm going to be doing with the MR2 Spider. So I'm always open to ideas, feedback. Any MR2 gurus out there, hit me up. Go follow me on Instagram, Captain26, DM me there. And yeah, just comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Be honest with me. And whether or not I should go 2ZZ or K20 on the engine swap here soon. But for now, I'm just going to work on doing supporting mods, brakes, suspension, wheels, tires, trying to find this hard top, some interior goodies, and then we'll go ahead and put the power down on it and make this car a little animal. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Hope everybody's doing all right, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Later.